All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? I've got a matchup for you today between MTW's Dimaga and ATN's Socke. So we can see Socke here, or yeah, I call him Socke. His name's Socke, I think, something like that. Yeah. Anywho, so we have, yes, Dimaga, Zerg vs. Protoss, and we are here on Jungle Basin. It has been quite some time since I've commentated a game on Jungle Basin. Looking forward to bringing you this commentary today. Earlier in the day, I did produce a how to beat computers thing, which, you know, LOL, computers, so easy. It's not funny at all how, yeah, I don't like, I don't know. I mean, obviously the competitive nature in any game comes from playing other people. So that's what we enjoy the most. That's the things we're looking forward to the most. And, you know, Diablo 3, this big game that I'm excited for. I'm going to be covering a lot. And what I'm looking forward to most is playing other people. Computers, not a challenge, not really that difficult. Doesn't really interest me at all. But I made the video because I know a lot of people like achievements. And yeah, it was how to beat a Zerg computer in like 3 minutes and 5 seconds on insane AI difficulty. That's going to be a nice, easy way to rack up those achievements if that's what you're looking to do. So anyway, yes, we are here in Jungle Basin. Let's focus on the esports PvP, or, you know, PvZ, or whatever. What the hell is wrong with me today, guys? I do not know. So yes, let's get going here. We can see right now Dimaga opening up on one base. Going to be getting that extractor first, and where in the heck is that pool? Definitely delaying that quite a bit. There we go, 200 supply, and bam, there goes the pool. Now getting this, you know, we've seen this quite a bit before in the past, and getting that extractor first and then the pool. What it does, of course, is it allows you to get that metabolic boost basically instantaneously. The second that your spawning pool finishes, you'll be able to afford that, and we're going to see Dimaga do that in just one moment. Honestly, a little surprised that Dimaga isn't going for some sort of a fast expand build, given the fact that, again, we are here in Jungle Basin. You do have that natural right inside of your base. We can see Dimaga spotting down here with the Overlord. He, of course, does want to see if Socke tries to move his probe down in there to drop a proxy pylon in the corner, or any sort of shenanigans like that. Taking a look inside of Socke's base, seeing pretty standard fare. Let's see that cybernetics core go down. There we go. One space left there for his zealot, and just on the one gas right now, there's the second gas right there. So there you go. Second gas was dropped at about 18, just close to 19 supply, and you can see right there Dimaga getting that metabolic boost right away, pulling guys off the gas, and he's going to be going for that expo right around 21 supply. Going to be saving up his resources, trying to drop that down. We can see here Socke realizing that this is what's likely going to happen. He's trying to deny that with that worker scout there, but we're going to have these 4 Zerglings moving on down to take care of that, and we can see right here moving across. I think Dimaga should be all set. Should be able to get his Overlord right over here before that first Stalker comes out. And yeah, let's go take a look over here. So still trying to deny that expansion. Socke doing a nice job of harassing, but again, he is going to have to hightail it out of there because those Zerglings are hot on his trail, and I think he's pretty much a goner right now. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to make it back home. We will see, though. Socke actually not going. Okay, so there we go. Finally coming out that sentry. Definitely not going to get it out in time, though. And actually, we're seeing Dimaga being a little bit risky here, trying to pull it back in. He wants to check the gases, but he needs to be wary because he knows this anti-air is making its way on out. I think he's going to check for that second gas too. Wow, definitely risking it right here. This may not seem like a big deal, but he's definitely... Okay, there we go. So did he check the second gas? No, he's not. He wanted to, but yeah. I think the main thing too that he was checking was Chrono Boost. He wants to see where those Chrono Boosts go down. Look at that Stargate going down, and Dimaga has no idea. So Socke going to be opening up with a Stargate. Casted a game a few days ago. I believe it was MC versus Idra, and we just saw Phoenix harass, tear apart the Zerg player, and we'll see if we see that same thing here. You can open up with the Void Ray as well. That's something else that can be effective. So yeah, he may very well do that as well. We will take a look to see precisely what he does. He can obviously afford. He's got these 2 gas up and running, so he's definitely going to be able to afford quite a bit. You can see pooling those resources here. I almost expect an Expo to come out too, and there we go. So Socke going to be opening up 1 gate into Stargate and then getting an Expo as well. So there you have it. That obviously is going to put him in a really good position if he can manage to defend himself early game. You know, unless Dimaga is super aggressive, which it doesn't seem like he's going to be. You can see droning up right now. Not a whole lot going on besides that. Taking a look over here, we're going to see Dimaga scouting up the front of the base. He just wanted to check basically the units that were up there. He wants to see basically army composition, also wants to see if there's any push coming soon. So Socke going to be waiting likely till he gets about 3 Phoenixes before he pushes out. The 3, and then once you move into like 4 and 5, the harassment just becomes overwhelming. So yeah, definitely going to be seeing some solid Phoenix harass here. We're going to see Dimaga pulling down, checking the Expo, and actually this is probably going to be a sacrifice because we can see right now Socke is moving down. He's going to spot that Overlord Overlord. Is he going to pull one? He's just going to pull the one sentry, and I guess it doesn't really matter. Phoenixes are out now. Important note, Socke doesn't want to engage with these Phoenixes quite yet. He wants to basically hide his hand as long as possible, and so that once he pushes out, Dimaga hopefully is going to be caught off guard. We can see right now Dimaga just sitting on the 2 queens. He's got no more queens in production. He doesn't have that Evo chamber, so there's going to be no spore crawlers as well. So as soon as Socke pushes out, which it looks like right now, going to be moving out with the 4 Phoenixes, and again, there still hasn't been a scout. Now, right now, at this very moment, we're going to see Dimaga spotting those Phoenixes, so at this point, he's going to need to respond right away. Let's see if we have any more queen production going down. He does have this layer coming out. I'm guessing it's just going to go straight into his Spire, and there we go. Evo chambers getting dropped down, and he's going to have to start doing this very, very quickly. Again, just the 1 queen. No more queens in production. This queen getting dropped instantly. Second queen's going to get taken out too. This queen, if it can get lifted up, he's just going to stick with this. He's not too concerned right now until he starts losing some of that main health, and there we go. So Dimaga looking to be in trouble. He's got 1 queen in production right now. Still no anti-air making its way out. Now we do have those Evo chambers, so he's going to start dropping those spore crawlers very soon. But Socke has a tremendous window right now. He can just do so much harass. Going to be picking off a ton of Overlords. This is definitely a real big problem right now for Dimaga. Just look at all this harassment that's going to be going down. These Phoenixes going to completely tear through these Overlords. There we go, 4 Evo chambers. We have 2 in the back right here. You can see the Overlords going straight to those Evo chambers, but he's still got plenty of time. Going to pick off another one, and look at how much trouble it is. Now, right now, Dimaga is going to be forced to basically use most of his resources on coming out with Overlords. You can see right now, so very low. He's got that Hydra Den that just popped in, but the problem is he can't even afford any Hydras right now. I mean, he has to make Overlords just to basically play face and be back in this game to not be supply blocked. So there we go, finally breaking that supply block. He's going to start coming out with some Hydras too. Now, we're going to see what Socke's doing to basically take advantage of that, and we can see right here he's coming out with this robotics facility. He's got a second one on the way. Robotics Bay just popped in, so going to be transitioning into Colossus. Such a strong opening as a Protoss player against Azuri. In fact, I may very well just make a strategy video off this just to give you guys a general gist of what you should be doing to come out with this build. But this is a very strong PvZ build. And if you can hide it from the Zerg player until you have, like I mentioned, those 3 or 4 Phoenixes, and then push out, and if they don't have enough anti-air, I mean, you saw that was just completely devastating. Let's take a look at the loss tab right there. 13 units killed for Socke, 5 of which were workers, the rest of which were Overlords and Zerglings. So there you have it. So very effective, and that allowed Socke the time to basically tech up super hard. You can see going to start pumping out Colossus right now. Bought him plenty of time to get this Expo nice and saturated. Let's take a look at the, what am I doing there? Resource tab. That's what I want to look at. You can see Socke still on par with Dimaga, and you know, he got his Expo much later. So there you go. Definitely a I'm just hitting all sorts of crap right now. Definitely a really solid build. Can definitely put you ahead as a Protoss player, and it's something I would certainly suggest. We can see right now moving out with those 4 Phoenixes as well, checking for any of those outlying Overlords. Obviously at this point, Dimaga keeping those Overlords straight inside of his base. Now we can see Dimaga coming out with some upgrades. He needs to, I don't know, he needs to basically prepare himself for this Colossus. He doesn't know at this point that Colossus is even coming out. More Phoenix harass going down, and Dimaga with those 2 queens plus the Spore Caller is going to be able to fend that back. But taking a quick look at the army tab, we can see Socke in a strong position right now, 37 as opposed to the 29 army. So definitely in a solid spot, but again, I'm pretty sure he has no idea. And here's the biggest problem. These Phoenixes pretty much give the Protoss player map control at this point, because again, right now, Socke is just in such a strong position with this Colossus, and there's just no response right now from Dimaga. Now he's got the roaches, and if you can get up really close with those roaches, you can actually be in a really good spot. He's got the burrow as well. I think he has that research coming. Yes, he does. So he's got the tunneling claws coming, and that's going to allow him to basically move up on and try to sneak up on those Colossus if the positioning allows him to do so. So we can see right now that push coming out, and actually with his observer, those burrowed roaches aren't going to fare very well, and this one's going to get dropped in just one moment. Observer moving on over. See you later, roach. So this is looking like a big problem. Socke's moving out with a very strong push. We got 59 army as opposed to the 52, but the problem is that the advantage in tech definitely right now going to Socke. This is going to be a very devastating push. Now what Dimaga needs to do is he needs to wait till he can get a nice concave. He's not going to want to engage anywhere near this ramp. It just would be very devastating to try to push up through that ramp and actually trying to move out of his base while the army is moving away. He's going to try to catch it off guard. If he can catch some Colossus by surprise, he can actually do really well. So here comes the roaches push right now. The rest of his army is back. There we go. Target firing that one roach. Going to continue to push forward, but nice force fields there. And unfortunately, even though he's burrowing, it doesn't matter. There are observers right here, and that's actually a bad move, lifting up some of those roaches. And Dimaga is going to be forced to push back right now. And that was he had a tremendous opportunity right there. Unfortunately, because of those force fields, those roaches were pretty much null and void. The idea is, okay, let me use burrowed roaches, but again, we see that Socke here has that observer, so those burrowed roaches are going to get spotted and torn apart if you try to push up on there. Colossus is going to start picking apart these queens. Queens want to push back. Nice transfuse there from Dimaga at the same time. Socke coming out with an expansion in the middle. Socke gets that up, which I don't see at this point how Dimaga could possibly even stop him from getting that up. If Socke gets that up, then he has the game. It's just too, and again, remember, I don't pre-screen these games, but you can just tell the Protoss player Socke right now is in such a tremendous position, and it all started with that Phoenix Harass. That's where it all began. He set him so far back. He forced Dimaga to use so many resources and building overlords, and one of the biggest things too is that map control. Having those Phoenixes on the board, giving you complete map control, it made it so that Dimaga had no idea that transition was coming to Colossus. He could reasonably assume that, and we could see that his response was those burrowed roaches. I think if he tried to get some Corruptors on the board, he may be, I mean, the game's not over yet. I don't know. I'm just speculating in all honesty, but it looks like Socke's in a pretty devastating lead right now. We can see right now, again, just teching up so hard. He's got that Twilight Council. There is the expected blink. Blink Stalker's very, very effective using that peeling. We can see a push coming out right now for Dimaga, so Dimaga going to be trying to move out at this point. Sorry for this constant updates as to what friends of mine are logging on and offline. So trying to push out right now, and actually Dimaga trying to take the middle himself. Does he not know at this point that Socke is sitting right across the board? And some nice harassment going down. Unfortunately, no Hydras, just all roaches. Queen's pushing forward. He's going to be actually shooing away some of those units, but no Hydras. I'm a little surprised that he didn't get at least some of those Hydras to try to tear through some of those gateway units. Probably because Hydras are so susceptible to that Colossus fire. And again, needs to be careful. We're expecting those force fields, and there they are, cutting the Roach army in half, doing a little bit of burrow, trying to sneak forward. But again, the Observer right now, and his army's just getting torn apart as he burrows those roaches. That was very, very bad. Target firing down this one Colossus. Is he going to be able to drop it down? No, he does not. And those burrowed roaches, with that Observer right there, that was probably a pretty big mistake, I would have to say. He lost so much of his army. Taking a look at the army tab right now, Dimaga so very low as opposed to Socke. Socke forced to cancel that expansion, and there you have it, guys. Very, very unfortunate situation for Dimaga, rather. He just, again, that Phoenix Harass was very, very devastating, very hard for him to deal with. He didn't have a proper response to the Colossus. Again, yes, burrowed roaches can do well, but with that Observer, it doesn't work so hot. You try to burrow your roaches and move, and we saw Dimaga try to burrow roaches and move into those force fields, and he just got torn apart because that Observer was right there, and obviously all Socke's units could see and target the roaches as a result. So there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. I'm going to be trying to commentate maybe a couple more games for you today, and again, I did have that computer strategy video, whatever that means. I mean, I know it's not going to do a lot of you good, but it'll help you, at least some of you out. So anyways, if you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and as always, guys, keep watching and keep owning.